What is up, everyone? Renfail here. Welcome back. I have more news to talk about in terms of the upcoming Zack Snyder film Rebel Moon, or actually series of films, because we're getting at least two. Plus, there's an ongoing RPG in development that he's already talked about that's tied to the story of these two games. So this is a big deal. It's a two-part picture with Netflix. The first half of which is dropping this December. And I have been just loving everything I've seen about this ever since I started hearing about it like 2 years ago. From the concept to then the concept art to then seeing, all these developer snippets coming out. The most recent of these just dropped on Netflix a couple days ago. We're not going to play the whole video behind me because I'll get, copyright dinged for that kind of stuff. But we are going to show some still stuff here from the video because I think it's really really cool what they're building here, and I definitely get a Dune vibe. Like I love Dune, not the film per se. I'm talking about the story of Dune and the also I would say looking at um well, I don't want to get sidetracked, but just looking at Dune. Um, it's this big universe. There's this big overreaching empire. Um, and they're oppressive to everyone, and that's kind of what we see here. This oppressive empire, which is why, by the way, this was originally pitched as a Star Wars film because it fit into that whole, oh, there's a fascist regime at the top, and then there's these rebels over here doing this thing. But it eventually didn't pan out, and he turned around and repurposed this into Rebel Moon. There's this really cool opening shot of this one of the ships, right? And I think this is one of those cool components where they've got a physical prop that's been built, but it's also against CGI and stuff in the background. Because there's a great interview with Frank Oz where he talked about how the best CGI uses a blending of real and computer generated, and it always has real as the basis for the principal shot because the eye knows that it's seen something physical. The moment it's all digital, the eye goes, something doesn't feel right. But if you blend it where there's something real blended in, your eye is easier to fool, is essentially what the discussion was about. So I love seeing physical set pieces like this that they're working with. But there's also some really cool stuff of like going behind the scenes on, these shots where he needs lots of smoke and then, crane shots. Remember recently, I've been talking about how I've just been getting like fascinated and obsessed with behind the scenes stuff on films. So I love watching all of this come together. Obviously, Zach's been around now. He's done, I could think of like 6 or 8 films that I've seen of his that I just really, 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 really like. I love his Watchmen film. I know a lot of people are like it's not this, that, or the other. I liked it. 300, of course. Um, I've always tended to like his science fiction and fantasy stuff more than his horror stuff, but it's all good. Like this to me sounds like the best project I've heard of in a long time. But they actually built this set. I read through I think it was the Variety, it was at Variety or something recently when they did the exclusive article about the set that they built out there. Like they actually built a town. There's a shot here. Yeah, they actually built the wheat field. So there's a wheat field up there in that top right corner, right? And there's actually, machinery there, whether that's CGI or not, coming in and cropping this. But this is definitely, this is a real crop and a real set that's got real landscaping and it's all been built. So this is the kind of stuff that makes for just amazing filmmaking because they've taken the time to craft. It's like Hobbiton and Lord of the Rings Online. It feels real. It's like a lot of the sets George Lucas did where they were real sets. So and Ridley Scott does this. Ridley Scott does an amazing job even on like films like Prometheus. Like they build these massive sets, and people have talked about working on Ridley Scott films where it's like you're there, and one of the actors, I'm gonna forget his name off the top of my head. During this interview, um, he's this really scrawny guy who I've seen in other stuff, and I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. But he talked about how he said this is the biggest film I've ever been on, I'm not gonna be able to find it, am I? Um, but I love it. Like the costuming is spot on. But I love the behind the scenes stuff because we get to see, coming out of the ship here. There's this shot, but then the storyboards are the things that capture me. Like being able to see how this shot sequence is put together with storyboards. This is the stuff that hardly anyone pays attention to when they go see a film. Like they don't realize the hundreds, if not thousands, of man hours that went into, the planning stages to even get to the point where actors are going to be on screen, and then everything that comes after that in post with all the CGI and extra sound effects and overdubs. And there's a lot of work that goes into making a film, and I know a lot of people are like actors are overpaid. It's like yes, but they also do a lot of work as a general rule. Um, Not just the actors, but directors, especially if you're someone like Zack Snyder. Um, you're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer, you're the wrangler, you're everything. You're the CEO of a mini company for those years that it takes to put together a film. So really cool stuff here. But just going through her, I love this dev blog because we're seeing lots of stuff. And Charlie Hunnam, I will watch everything this guy does. Man crush, like not gonna lie, like really cool stuff. Also, it sounds like they talked about how they did this guy. This is the guy that was talking about how it was the biggest film he's ever been on. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Anyway, I've seen him in like 4 or 5 different things, and I'm blanking on who he is. But he plays the creepy like Emperor Bishop dude. But him and Charlie Hunnam, and then the somebody else was talking about one of the other actresses was talking about how this was like the most physical film they'd ever done, and there was I think it was her, 2 months of training to get in shape before they ever even started, stuff. So very action intense. So think 300 in space, in the sense that the actors had to go through a pretty, intense physical regime to even get in shape for the shoot. I think that speaks volumes to what's going on. But then, watching stuff like this and these massive explosions and what's up, everybody? Commercial break here. I got to give a shout out to our guild champions. It's the highest tier membership here on YouTube. We got Ancient Entity, Crazy as Relative, and Remy D. Thanks so much for your support. And of course, to all of the members here on YouTube, thanks for keeping me on the air full time. If you do like what you see and hear on my channel, don't forget to not only like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, but please support. Consider me your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, or HBO, whatever you want to call it. You can do memberships here on the channel starting at $3 a month. And of course, anytime you see me live or you watch a premiere, you can do super chats and stickers on those videos, and super thanks on any upload you see, which allows me to keep doing this full time and paying the bills. So from Chris and I and all of our rescue cats, we say thank you. Let's get back to the video at hand. I just think this is really cool filmmaking, and it's making me even more excited to see this film now, knowing that there's all this just incredible amount of detail that's gone into using these physical set pieces, and it's great to see a behind the scenes, just production dev diary on making a really cool, because this is technically in his backyard. Like, I mean, they're shooting it all in California. If I remember correctly, it's all in California. But it's all with this specially built and purposed set that is containing the story for this film. And yeah, there's other stuff with CGI and everything else. But like, I don't want to spoil it, but at the end of this, there is a trailer, a very small teaser trailer, that I want you to go watch because it shows these craft arriving to the farm, right? And it's the empire, and it's like you just get this sense of overwhelming oppression and like, oh my god, you know, shit's about to get real. Something's about to go down. Um, when you see this trailer sequence, it's so 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 good. I am so looking forward to this film. I think it's December 22nd. Let's double check the. Uh, Dun, 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 dun. I could swear it's December 22nd. Yeah, it says only on Netflix December 22nd. So um, you can expect me to absolutely watch and review this film when it comes out. I'm going to be covering all the news up until its actual launch. So I've already done half a dozen of these coverage on the film, and I'm going to continue to. Also, I did one on the video game, so as I get more information about the video game, I'll talk about that as well. So, if you also think Rebel Moon looks cool, you're in the right place. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Happy viewing. Have fun out there, everybody.